So, this is my Honda Foreman 520 Rubicon. This is mostly what my channel is going to be based off of. I figured I'd do a little mod video slash plans video on it. Really, I ain't got much done to it yet. I ain't had it but 3 weeks, but I've got KFI 3,500 pound winch, the Boss ATV speaker, the Mesa or MSA M26 Vibe dark tint wheels, 14x9s, and then I've got 28 by 8.5 by 14 Moto Havocs. I went and picked up this hitch yesterday. I don't know how exactly well it's gonna work. It's supposed to be a hitch with a solid mount 2-inch receiver, then a spot to hook, like a winch or just some type of hook you could hook on when you're pulling somebody out. And then it's got a spot where you can either mount an extra ball, or you can put like a pin in it for pulling plows and stuff like that. We'll see how it works. Hopefully it doesn't hang up on anything, because if it hangs up, it's coming off, and then I'm gonna find something else to do. Really, I wanted it to be able to move my trailer around and to pull people out, make it a little bit easier. That way we don't have to break cables trying to wrap them around balls or anything like that. Just be a straight hook and be a lot easier and a lot better than any other method. I'm not running any lift, and I don't think I plan on running any lift. I've got my suspension cranked all the way up to the stiffest suspension or stiffest setting in the rear, and then my front is one setting from being the stiffest. I don't really care about my front being the stiffest because I'm not gonna have any weight on it. There's gonna be 2 of us on this, so I wanted the rear to kind of be as stiff as possible. That way when I drop it down in some ruts, it didn't sag. Try to keep as much clearance in it as I can. I have not taken these tires in the mud yet. I do not know how they're gonna pull, or how the four-wheeler's gonna pull. The new four-wheelers, they're not a 500 anymore. They're a 520 because they have, instead of 476 cc's, they have 516 cc's. So they moved them up a class to a 520. And really the only difference is in these models is the grill right here is different. As you can see, the shrouding and all that around it is different. And then they added the new heavy duty front bumper, which all it is this plate right here that has been welded on, from what I can tell myself. Because if you look down in here, there's a bar that the original bar is still there. All they did was just put on this plate right here. I mean, it ain't even a eighth of an inch thick. So I don't really know how heavy duty that is or how well it's gonna work. But we'll see how these tires pull. I'd like to see exactly how they go. I bought the four-wheeler and went and ran it stock, did the break-in period, and went and took it to the river and played in a little bit of mud. Didn't get it stuck, but it was just, I don't know, I wanted some bigger tires, of course. But I bought some 29.5 Outlaws on HD wheels and put it on here, and it pulled them fine. I went and put it in the mud one time, which I made a mistake and went riding by myself and got stuck, which I was not trying to do. I wasn't even in any mud hole. I was just on floating grass and was trying to turn around and get out of there before I did get stuck, and ended up sinking it over the floorboards. And then they have terrible reverse lugs, so I wanted something a little bit different. I've been looking at these tires for a while, and I got a really good deal on them, and I really like the way they go, because they go cut in, which gives you something to grip when you're trying to back out of a hole, versus, you know, just having like a BKT, having a straight lug that comes straight over. And when you go to back up, the grip just kind of slides off that lug. But now versus you got, you know, that lug that cuts over and will catch when you're backing up. I did not opt for the automatic DCT transmission. I do not like those. I do not prefer them on a Honda, nor do I want them. If it was just electric shift, you know, I'd have been fine with that, because I had a 250 that was electric shift, and I ran it and played in the mud and water and you name it for 8-9 years, and you know, I never had a problem out of it, but I kind of wanted to go back and just get a straight foot shift, 4-wheel drive with the diff lock. Honda's new color, I did not think I was gonna like this color when I was seeing it online in pictures and stuff, when I was watching reviews on them when they come out. But I went up to my local ATV place and was walking in with some buddies because we did ride dirt bikes, but that was not my parte, so I had to get out of that sport. But we rode dirt bikes and we went up there to get some dirt bike stuff, and ended up seeing this and fell in love with the color, and I wanted to get some wheels to match. So my wheels, they're not perfect match, but you know, they're a close match to what this decal is on the side. So I kind of hit home. Everything else I wanted to go black. I went black on the speaker, which is like the only color you can get. My winch is the blackout edition. And then the hitch, they had two different colors. They had silver and black. I went ahead and did black on it. That way it didn't stick out like a sore thumb. The only thing that's really gonna stick out is this wet box, which I gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount it and where I'm gonna mount it. And a little intruder there. But these four-wheelers actually do come with a dry box already. I just kind of defeated the purpose of it. But this right here, it's actually a pretty, if I can get this thing moved out of the way, it's actually a pretty decent size dry box. I mean, it's, you know, you can fit, I think when I first had this four-wheeler, I had 4 phones in there and something else. But it's a pretty good storage box, but I kind of deleted that box, having to put the speaker up here. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this up here. Maybe when I get a little more money, I'm gonna buy a wet sound and sell this. It looks okay on it, but I don't really like the big bulkiness. And not only that, it blocks my main high beam headlight. So when I do want to use that, when I want to use my high beams or something like that, this automatically cuts on. So I'm gonna have to unplug it to keep that from cutting on, because when it does, it hits this, bounces off and blinds the crap out of me. So I'm gonna kind of try to figure something out about that until I can get something a little different. I didn't want to spend $600 right off the bat on my 3rd week of owning this on a speaker. So far it pulls pretty good. I went and done some climbing with them, just in 2-wheel drive. They hook really good when you're cutting up hills and stuff in loose dirt. Hard pack, I've noticed, I haven't aired them down since I bought them, because when I bought them they come pre-mounted, so they're still on mountain pressure. I'm gonna air them down because tomorrow I am going to Taylor County Boondocks tomorrow. So I will be airing them down to probably 5, maybe 4 PSI. I don't know how it's gonna work with bead. I know a lot of people run their tires on 4 PSI. So we'll see how that works tomorrow. I might slowly start airing it down. What do you want? Slowly start airing it down as I go. And then see how it goes from there. I got oh yeah, I do. Quick refreshment. I did rerun all the vent lines on this. So I've got, I think, 6 vent lines. They're all ran up into this pod right here, headlight pod, because I did not like the way they were ran from factory. The rear diff vent line came literally up to like right here. So you got to run the rear diff, then you got to run the front diff, which sits like right there, and then there's another diff on the radiator you have to run, and it's right behind the shrouding that comes straight out of the radiator behind the fan. And then see, they're all ran up right here. This is most of them. And then I did a little trick right here. You loop your wire, so if you were to ever roll it over in water and you duck your headlight or something like that, and your vent lines actually do get underwater, it had to come down and fight gravity to get around, if that makes any sense. It had to go fight gravity and climb and make it through all them loops before it could get anywhere. So you flip it over, get it back stood up, and then you just take your vent lines off of wherever they go, and then you just take them off and blow them out, and then put them back on, and you're ready to go. I do plan on snorkeling this thing, but I'm probably gonna wait a year. Oh yeah, that's my other vent line. It's kind of ugly. I don't like the way it's done. I'd like to reroute it, but that's my gas tank vent line. Ran from here. Oh yeah, and while I'm on that topic, the other vent line is right there for the coolant overflow. And then there's another one that comes off the water pump casing at the front of the motor. I don't know if I can show you that. It's right, let's see, it's right here. That's that little line coming off. All I did was I just plugged it. I didn't run a vent line. I just plugged it and kind of lathered some dielectric grease on it just to keep any water from trying to get around the screw in there, but it's really tight, so I'm not too worried about it. Now what was I talking about? Let's see. Gas vent line. But putting your vent lines in your headlight pod, I kind of like doing that over when you snorkel. Even when I snorkel, I'm probably gonna leave the vent lines in here because this headlight kind of protects it from splash or anything getting up and getting in it, dirt and mud. Because I mean, they literally run all the way up to like right here in this corner, so they're pretty freaking protected. They're tight in there too. You know, you have to keep a little bit of slack to keep from when you're turning and stuff. You have to keep a little slack in the lines down in here. That's why I have that little roll up thing. That way when you turn, you don't snatch, you know, break or rip any of your vent lines off of where they're going. And there is two different size vent lines you need to use. It's a 1/4 inch, and then there's, I think it's 3/8 inch inner diameter for like your diff vents. And then everything, pretty much everything, your fuel tank, you can reuse the stock one to run it in there. And then the coolant reservoir and the radiator, I believe, has to be the 3/4 inch in inner diameter. But oh yeah, the snorkel, I do plan on doing it. Don't know when I do it, it's probably gonna come out right here, unless I do end up getting a different speaker. Then I may bring it out right here, which I might try to get a new speaker in the next year or so, and see how that goes. I don't want to snorkel it right off the bat because it is brand new. I mean, I haven't been on but 3 rides maybe, and they were just short little rides, nothing extent. So we're gonna kind of keep this build kind of mild right this second. Things I still need to do. I gotta do an O2 sensor delete on it. That way when it does come time, it will idle underwater. Which I gotta get the plug for the O2 sensor, which goes right here. And then there's the wire runs up and then runs down the body line right here. And then there's a plug connector right there. You just unplug it and then take your delete and put some dielectric grease and plug it back in. Spark plug is dielectric greased. What else? I don't know if I'm gonna put an exhaust on it. I'd like to, but then again, I've heard some stories about people putting aftermarket exhaust on them to actually do their O2 sensor delete, and it not actually end up working. It won't idle underwater like that. So I may wait and just keep the stock because it really don't sound bad. And the 2020 does have a different exhaust from the 2018 and 2019, but in my opinion, it does not sound any different. The air box, they're greatly sealed, but that's my winch connector. It don't work when it's cut off, of course. The speaker, I've got a problem. I have to connect it when I ride if I want to hear it, because I've got it hardwired to the battery. So I got to figure out a way. I'm gonna cut the connector off of it and probably connect the power to a fused or a switched line. That way when I cut the four-wheeler on, the speaker will cut on versus always being on. And they say these things automatically cut off after so much time on their own. That does not tend to seem to be true. So we'll see about that and figure something out with that. The reverse lever, my model did not come with a new one. Only the automatic DCT comes with the new one that you can shift from straight first to reverse and skip neutral. Mine didn't get that. Mine still has the, you know, the pull back, and then shift down, which coming from what I used to have, that is a lot better, because my latest generation I had was you had to push the button down, pull the lever back, and then you shift down. I can't have anything of my own. But anyway, I do still like that reverse lever versus the old one. But I will be going to Taylor County Boondocks in the morning, so I've been kind of getting ready for that. Dielectric greasing everything, rerunning vent lines, making sure everything is kind of, for the most part, waterproof. We'll see how it goes. I still got some boots to shove some waterproof grease in, some packing grease anyway, and then I think it should be ready. I got a project 4 I'm working on too. I'd like to make some videos of. Bear with my name. I couldn't really come up with a good name, so we'll have to figure something out on that and end up changing it. But that's my 2020 Honda Foreman 520 Rubicon IRS. We'll see how she does tomorrow on the tires and wheels. I don't know when that video will be uploaded, but I plan to do this one tonight. So, and we will be making some videos on this. I may end up doing a build summary of what I've done to this so far, and things to come, because I still do have some stuff I want to do to it. We'll see how that goes. And I got a project 4 we'll do some videos on. Ain't nothing special. It's just a Polaris. So, all right. Well, let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in the next one.